Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Hit the like button, subscribe, download One Football for all the latest news, transfer stories, stats, league tables, and much, much more. We've got done deals on this show. We've got deals that are close. We've got big moves for Manchester United and Liverpool inquiring about one of the hottest prospects in English football. Hit the like button, as I already say. Get ready to put your comments in below. Let's go. Chelsea have booked a medical ahead of Renato Veiga's move. Chelsea signing young players is about to continue after a busy summer already. To have brought in 5 players to Stamford Bridge, Fabrizio Romano claims the Blues have booked a medical for the Basel midfielder Renato Veiga. It is thought the 20-year-old will cost around £11 million, and this is essentially another done deal for Chelsea, a player that is completely unfamiliar to me, and I'm sure many Chelsea fans feel similarly. And this has been a regular habit of Todd Boehly, Clearlake and Co. in terms of their Chelsea strategy since their takeover in 2022 of buying lots of young, up-and-coming prospects from across European football and world football. That must be said. Obviously, we've seen the signing of Willian this summer, amongst others as well. It remains to be seen, and I think this is all really, really, really important when it comes to Chelsea. I have this fervent belief that quite a lot of these youngsters are being bought to flip. And that isn't a disrespect. I think it's a good business strategy. Some of these young players, potentially this individual, are being purchased and maybe after a few loans could be sold for 15 or 20 million and profits can be made. But it does look as though there is going to be a huge amount of money invested. 63 million has already been spent this summer. Another 11+ million pounds is going to be added to that, bringing Chelsea's total expenditure to 72 million already. And a lot of people acted as though they weren't really going to be able to sell, buy it or spend very much money this summer, but already moving towards the 70 million pound mark. And you may argue they haven't even landed a marquee target. Now, they have sold over 100 million euros worth of players as well, with Maatsen and Hall and Amari Hutchinson as well. So they're bringing money in, and that's maybe part of this strategy that is starting to come to fruition now, where they're selling as much as they're buying to help improve this team. I still feel that Chelsea needs some marquee players. I still feel that Chelsea need to go out there and sign a few players that are really going to move the needle for them 110%. But I'm not going to judge this deal as good or bad. I don't know enough about the player. And that's me being completely and utterly honest. I want to get Chelsea fans' views. I want to get Chelsea fans' opinions on this in our comment section below. Now, moving to Manchester United, the story this morning claims that Joshua Zirkzee to Man United is imminent. Joshua Zirkzee could be in Euro 24 action for the Netherlands tonight, but it seems he hasn't stopped a major decision about his club future. According to Court Offside, the striker has agreed terms over a move to Manchester United, and a deal could be wrapped up imminently. And a lot of the media reports out there make you feel that this is true. They make you feel that this is at least somewhat true, that the deal does feel really, really close to happening. And there's a report I read on Give Me Sport that breaks down the deal, that he's turned down AC Milan, that he has told his agents no to Arsenal, and that Man United is the destination that he wants to go to. And I've said all along that I'm quite excited about the prospect. I'm quite excited about the prospects of this player. He isn't that young. He's 23 years of age, so he's not a kid. He's not a baby. And I think I feel that that's kind of important when it comes to Manchester United growing the squad, that not everybody we look at is 18, 19, 20 years old. I think you need a little bit more experience. He's been part of a lot of winning squads in his career. He's won Champions Leagues. He's been part of Bundesliga titles and multiple other areas as well. This is a player with 83 goals and 49 assists so far in his 213 game career. So, you know, he averages a goal or assist more than it's a better average than 1 in 2 games. So there is output here from this individual. You know, he's come through the Bayern Munich ranks. So although he is Dutch, there is a different education to his game. The only concern I have is that this is not a out and out prolific football player. And that's one thing that I hope that he can develop a little more as he gets older, the same way the likes of Jamie Vardy did, as an example. He's a very different player stylistically to Vardy, but the goals came a little bit later in his career. But overall, I'm quite excited about this deal. He's got a good experience. He's been at massive clubs. He's been involved in teams and squads that have won major trophies. He's a good age. He's a good technician. The only area that I look at and go, I'm slightly concerned about is that he's not prolific, as I've already mentioned. But I do hope this deal goes through. Rasmus needs the help. Man United need more firepower up front. We only have one out-and-out number 9 at the club, with so many leaving in recent years. It's a fundamentally important piece of business. And I'd love to gauge your views and your opinions, and especially Arsenal fans. You know, any AC Milan fans that are watching, your teams were heavily linked to them as well over the last 18 months to 2 years. How do you feel about Manchester United, according to these reports, pipping you to this deal and getting it over the line? Let us know in the comment section below. Now, staying with Arsenal, I get a lot of DMs every single day. Terry, what do you think is happening with Calafiori? Do you think it's going to happen? Arsenal are expected to wrap up the Riccardo Calafiori deal imminently as well. It seems as if Arsenal are closing in on a move to sign their first player of the summer. The Gunners are thought to have agreed personal terms with the Bologna defender, and that's according to Sky Sports, and they're expected to conclude the deal with the Italian club in a couple of days. And it's been such an intriguing story from my perspective, because there's been so many Arsenal fans that have reached out to me saying, Terry, this isn't true. Terry, this isn't going to happen. I received a message last night from someone I trust who's very, very close to Arsenal. And I'm going to read you this message verbatim here. It said, had a message saying Calafiori will definitely be an Arsenal player. I got sent that around 5:30 yesterday afternoon, and he is a top young player, in my opinion. I think there's so much potential for him. I understand that some people may look at it as a hipster's choice because he's been popular during the Euros, but this is a player that the likes of Arsenal and co have been monitoring for months. I don't think this is just a flash in the pan, sort of El Hadj juice, Karol Poborski, Euro hyped or international tournament hype player. I think there's a real star quality in here. So it looks as though this is going to happen. It looks as though this is going to get over the line. But does anybody else see a sting in the towel? Chelsea, Juve have been interested. Could we see a last-minute hijack? Could we see a U-turn on this deal? Let me know in the comment section below what you think. Now, moving to Liverpool, the Telegraph has published today a story saying that Anthony Gordon has spoken with his England teammates about a potential move to Liverpool. Now, Newcastle fans are not going to want to hear this. They're already very angry at the quote-unquote red cartel clubs. They hate the prospects, and they hate the idea that we could see these players, they hate the idea they could see some of their players leave. But it is sell a number of individuals before the end of the transfer deadline, the end of the sort of PSR deadline for 2023-24, and we've moved into a new section. But the story is still rumbling on. And you know my take when it comes to these stories. Although you may have the deal being shut down, or it may only be coming from sources that we don't look at as the tier ones, I always feel we should bank it and we should hold on to this information. Very similar to the Calafiori deal. Very similar to the Zirkzee deal that we've just spoken about. Both those deals were first published by relatively unknown media sources to us in England. Dutch press, Italian press, that we're very, very unfamiliar with. That's why, and then we've seen the big boys go with it as the deals have come to fruition. So from my perspective, I'm not going to discount the idea of Anthony Gordon going to Liverpool. My gut feeling tells me it won't happen right now, but I didn't think Arsenal would get Calafiori. I thought he would end up at Juve. That's been my thought and feelings all along. But it's just based on the stories that are coming out. But what I won't do is disregard it and say, absolutely no chance, never going to happen, absolutely impossible. I don't believe in dealing in absolutes when it comes to the majority of transfer stories. And this is certainly one of them. Anthony Gordon is a Liverpool fan. Anthony Gordon has the chance to go and play for one of the greatest clubs in the history of football. And I mean, no disrespect to Newcastle. They are looking to build something big. They're looking to build something massive. They're looking to create something beautiful from their perspective. However, and there is a big however in this, and it's a huge however, that I don't think can be discounted. I don't think should be ignored. And that is that Newcastle in Anthony Gordon's playing career will never be as big as Liverpool. And this is a chance to go and play for your boyhood club, who are a title challenging team, a team that could win the Champions League next year, who are right up there, almost near the peak of their powers, with you coming into your pomp as a young man. So this may not even be about PSR. This may not even be about money. This could genuinely be about a player's head being turned. And Newcastle fans may get upset by hearing this, but what I will say is this. Him turning his head from Newcastle to Liverpool is no different from him turning his head from Everton to Newcastle based on the situations of your two clubs. So I think as football fans here, we shouldn't be hypocrites and get angry about this when you celebrated it happening when you won the race for a player. But that's just my view. That's just my opinion. As ever, I want to know what you think, what you feel. Leave me your comments section, maybe your comments below about these deals that we have just discussed. Until next time, take care, goodbye, God bless, and I'll see you all again soon.